Tom, congratulations on Tolkien.
Thank you very much, man.
Yes, this is a legendary author. What can we, the fans of Tolkien, expect from this movie?
You can expect a story of love, fellowship, courage, devotion to each other, and a nice uplifting story.
And how familiar with you with Tolkien's history coming into this project?
I definitely had to do a lot of reading because I wasn't overly familiar with Tolkien's work or his life before doing this project. But it was great to learn about him and the life that he led and all of his friends that had such a pivotal involvement in his life.
And what's your role? What's your character?
I play Christopher Wiseman.
And then what's his up to with Nicholas Hoult's character Tolkien? Your character?
What did he do him?
Yeah,
he's his best friend.
Oh.
One of the 4 lads who were in the TCBS, the Tea Club and Barovian Society.
Fellowship.
The Fellowship, indeed. So he grew up with Tolkien from a young age, from being 12 years old, and and they went through all the schooling together, and they were young intellectuals who were, asking each other huge life questions and supporting each other, and also pushing each other to be better at what they do. And there was a lot of camaraderie. They had a lot of fun.
Last question before I let you go. So, what do you think about Nicholas Hoult's character performance as Tolkien?
Oh, I think he's brilliant. Nick's great in everything he does. Big fan of his, and proud to call him a friend now.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So, congratulations on Tolkien.
Thank you.
Yes. So, what's your character, and is he based on a real life person?
Yes, so I play Robert Gilson, and he's based on a real person who was one of the members of the TCBS, which is along with Tom and Anthony, who play Jeffrey and Christopher Wiseman. And they were sort of a group of friends with Tolkien who they went to primary school together, and then they further went on to university. 2 of the guys went to Cambridge and 2 of the guys went to Oxford. And they discussed all things sort of about the world and politics and art, and they sort of fancied themselves as intellectuals and saw that they had a sort of mission in the world to go out and create these wonderful things, and they all sort of pushed each other. So yeah, it was fascinating to learn about these guys and who existed, and sort of, I think, impacted Tolkien's writing heavily as well.
Did it come with any pressure to get things as accurate as possible?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, there's always, you feel a responsibility to honor that person and who they are, but I think at the same time, for me, it was kind of about capturing the essence of what they would have felt as a group. And I mean, there is a lot of historical accuracy in it, but also I think what was important to us was to capture that energy and what they would have been like in the Barrows stores, or at least our sort of idea of it.
Now, before I let you go, I want to ask, what is it about Tolkien and the worlds that he created that resonated to fans still to this day?
Yeah, I think there's so much in it. I think there's something for everyone in those books. I think, and it's reflected in the film as well. Interestingly, that I think, that these ideas of fellowship and brotherhood and unity, and these sort of vast epics that also have incredibly human stories at the center of them, that you can relate to, besides the fact that it's in Mordor. I think everybody has a feeling of at one point in their life being on a quest like that, or so yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. Congratulations on Tolkien.
Thank you.
Yes. I saw the trailer. Looking forward to screening the film. Was Nicholas your first and only choice for Tolkien?
Actually, pretty much. I mean, I was in England, and we were doing pre-production, and then I had seen a couple of his newest films, and I loved kind of the scale of acting that he does. And so me and also the producers had kind of like, he was on our radar. And then I met him probably like a couple of days afterwards, and we didn't really talk about the film at all. We just sat down, talked about our life and our experience in life, and I just feel that there's this intellect, smart, witty, playful guy behind that, and knowing he can act. After that, it was like, okay, it has to be a Nick.
Now, how much accuracy and how much creative license do you guys take? How balanced is it, this film?
I think, I'm a Tolkien fan myself, and, read the Lord of the Rings books when I was 12, 13. So I think it comes through a lens of admiration and a lens of homage. At the same time, it's an objective interpretation of the character as how I see it and how the writers see it. And I think we've dramatized a bit, but I would say that it's very respectfully done. So like, as a fan, like respecting, like when you dramatize, we want to make it a working movie. I would say it's quite honest. It's quite honest and true in emotion in the film. And maybe some years are different and, small bits in there and there, but I think like you can actually, it's not a Wikipedia film, but it's truthful in emotion.
And how did the Tolkien estate respond to the film so far?
I don't think they've seen it yet.
Oh, they haven't seen it. Okay.
I don't think they've seen it yet. I mean, we didn't work on the books. It's not an adaptation of the books, so we don't have to need the rights. And also, when you work about a real life character, very easily, if you work with an estate, you start to service them.
Oh.
I've had that experience before in my life, and you start to kind of service them because you want to do good for them, right? And then I think you lose a bit of the integrity as an artist at that phase, but I would love to watch the film with them and just dying to hear their thoughts.
Last question. What do you think about Tolkien and the worlds that he created that so resonate with people today?
I think I can only think how I feel. I think there's so much, even he himself said his stories are not allegorical, but there are things that you can kind of feel about your own life. Yet you are escaping this beautiful world of Middle Earth and Arda, where you can kind of look at yourself through this lens, like how I as a human being behave or how I should be behave. So I think this work is actually quite philosophical. And for instance, just like phrases like "there's still good to fight for," like this, he has these wisdoms and intellectual points in his books that are still needed today.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.